I was chilled to my bones. Fear, as I had never known before, coursed through my veins as we stood in silence, digested the import of what we had just gone through. Those who invaded our home while we were asleep could have killed us all. It was a big, frightful moment for my family and I. Here, at least, was the danger spoken of by the 4 CID chief. While we knew who they were after, me of course, we had no idea who the intruders were or how they managed to breach the house security and violate our privacy. My daily security routine reflected the risk of the SFU job. From my house at number 3 Lookout Street, Ikuri, I was discouraged from establishing a regular track. I was instructed not to use the same routes twice in a day, lest I establish a pattern of movement. Whether going to the office or elsewhere, I changed routes daily. Yet they found out where I lived and intensified their efforts to get at me. We daily woke up to find fetish objects, ritual pots, and other sinister-looking mix of items designed to scare the faint-hearted, deposited on the road close to my house. I was unruffled at first. My house was impregnable, so I thought. On one side was number 2, a guest house from the G personnel, often occupied and busy. The neighbor to the right was a foreigner, Bulgarian. The next building belonged to the former head of the interim national government, Chief N.S. Shanekon, who had 2 gigantic Rottweilers in his compound. Erected opposite my house was number 4, Home of Justice Shotuminu, former Chief Judge of Lagos State. My home was a stronghold protected by a dog and 3 mobile police officers at the gates. I moved about in my house with the doors open. That was how confident I was about my safety. I soon found out how wrong I was. The day our house was invaded, 3 armed police officers, 1 dog, and an impregnable neighborhood were no impediment to the intruders. We had no premonition. The day ended with a heavy downpour, and the family had retired early to bed with the usual comforting thoughts that we're secured, only to be woken in the dead of night by a loud scream that reverberated through the house. The shriek came from downstairs, from my daughter. I jumped out of bed and was downstairs in half a minute. I came to an abrupt stop. The living room was empty. The windows were wide open. The wind howled outside. The curtains billowed and cold breeze blasted into the room. It was a scary moment. The intruders had cleared the sitting room of everything, including rugs and television. Only the chairs were spared. They left a warning note: "We can get you if we want to." How they broke into the house undetected was a mystery. They had gained entry through the Maitre guest house. The side of the house we thought was the most impregnable. They took their time to cut through the burglary-proof bars. The detectives called in to investigate wanted to arrest the security details, but I vouched for the officers. I trusted them. I believed what happened was beyond them. What could have happened to my dog? Not even a bark from the mongrel. That episode taught me a lesson to never take for granted any situation that has a human element. The next incident was more dangerous. It happened in the evening. I was upstairs saying the Maghrib prayer when suddenly a big bang shook the house. The roof broke and debris poured on me while I sat saying my evening prayers. Someone had fired an explosive into my home. As an experienced police officer, I knew what to do at the sound of gunfire. I didn't stand but crawled downstairs and shouted, "Someone is shooting at me." The police officers ran out towards the perceived source of the shots. The would-be assassins had vanished into thin air. Again, detectives began to investigate. Still, it was unresolved. There were other incidents. Some of them I would rather keep to myself.